House and Faneuil Hall, where we have these meetings to talk about liberty. We wanted to get back to the liberties that we had before King George started taking them away, before the Parliament started taking them away. We wanted to have them restored. The glorious revolution of 1688 that gave us a Bill of Rights, gave us the opportunity to have elections in Parliament. And of course, the colonies didn't have representation in Parliament, but at least we saw an opportunity that where dynasties wouldn't form anymore within the Parliament. But things started to fall apart. We started to find ourselves with folks in the House of Commons that, well, they kept getting reelected. Their families got reelected. And it got as bad as it ever was. Well, we're here in Independence Hall. I have 47 gentlemen in here with me tonight. We're debating the Declaration of Independence. Everything that evolved leading up to the Declaration of Independence started back in the 1760s. You remember the Stamp Act. Well, the Stamp Act wasn't everything that was involved. It was only a small part of it. What we were most concerned about was our liberties being taken away, where in that case, we would be taxed without representation. But also, the British were starting to, well, Parliament and the King, we're all British in British America, but Parliament and the King started taking away other rights, freedom of assembly. We started to see changes where if the government, our legislatures, our town meetings weren't giving approbation to the King and to Parliament, they would be shut down and reconstituted with people who would do that. They're taking away our liberties that we felt that we had a right to. So we have people in Parliament who think that they're very self-important, and a king who is becoming more and more, well, despotic. Let's put it that way. We reach out, we give complaint, and the king ignores us. Parliament ignores us. They treat us like second-class citizens, but we're not the only ones. Ireland is facing the same problem. Folks in Scotland, Corsica, are all facing the same problem, where Parliament and the King are taking away the liberties that we found in 1688, and something needs to be done about it. Well, as you know, I was part of the Sons of Liberty. Of course, this is 1785 now, and so I have stepped back from that. Now that we do have a government, there's no need to have the types of uprisings, rebellion, I suppose would be a better word for it, the types of rebellion that we had before the Declaration of Independence. But I was part of the Sons of Liberty, which was basically an organization that would communicate from colony to colony what was going on in their colonies as far as efforts to restore our rights, our liberties. And of course, a little bit out of that came the Congresses out of Albany, and also then the one that we had in Philadelphia. We had our first Continental Congress that met in 1774 in protest of the coercive acts that were mainly aimed at Massachusetts. But because of laws that Parliament had passed in 1766, any punishment against Massachusetts could be applied to any of the other states or colonies. And we didn't like that. Well, Second Continental Congress, of course, became a war effort. And we decided in June of 1776 that we needed to become free and independent. And of course, we're frozen in time here at June 28, 1776, with a debate on the Declaration of Independence and what should be in it. I'd just like to point out that not everybody reads the entirety of the Declaration of Independence. It's very informative. If you read the Declaration of Independence, you get a sense of what's coming in the Confederation of States, and now there's whispers of having a constitution for us. Big fear, of course, is that in the new constitution that they're talking about, that the overall federal government could be unleashed upon the states. And if you know Sam Adams, I don't like that. I think the states and local government should be free to make their own decisions without a federal government doing it. Taxation should be at the local level and not at the federal level. And so, well, thank you. Thank you. I don't know if we'll head that direction. But what's really important is knowing the documents of our founder and what it says. And again, I'm sure that you'll find that any new constitution will have a large portion of the Declaration of Independence inside of it. These gentlemen work very hard for our freedoms, for our liberties. And my cousin, John, who's not quite as austere as I am, he wrote to Abigail on April 26, 1777. He wrote, "Posterity, you will never know how much it costs the present generation to preserve your freedom. I hope you will make good use of it. If you do not, I shall repent in heaven that I ever took half the pains to preserve it." I bid you adieu. Thank you.